Disinformation has featured as a key instrument in the Kremlin's attempted justification of its policy goals. In domestic affairs, the Russian authorities have pursued a strategy of censorship directed at cracking down on the space for independent media. Internationally, Moscow has aggressively promoted its propaganda messages on a global scale across different regions and countries. In Southeast Europe, particularly since the start of the Kremlin's invasion of Ukraine, Russia has sharpened its already established channels, actors, and narratives for disseminating informational influence. IGA's newest publication reveals those. First, the pervasive informality through which Moscow exercises media leverage has persisted. Instead of directly owning local news sources, Russia cultivates opaque patronage networks consisting of journalists, politicians, and business people who promote the Kremlin's discursive agenda. Second, Russia taps into the social and cultural proclivities in the region, which predispose significant sections of local populations to view Moscow positively. This has conditioned the prominence of stances leaning towards neutrality in the standoff between Russia and Ukraine. Third, Russia has further weaponized social media and its embassies for disseminating war propaganda. Last but not least, Russian propaganda is diffused in the Balkans through Serbian media channels, which are a main intra-regional conduit of Kremlin interests. Elsewhere in Europe, Russian disinformation employs similar strategies, yet adapted to local circumstances. In Hungary, pro-government actors have actively disseminated Kremlin discourses, and Russian influence in the country has been channeled through shady business deals of politically connected firms and individuals. Likewise, in Georgia, pro-government actors also enable Kremlin disinformation. Yet, there is a fundamental split between Georgian authorities and society. The latter maintains its pro-Western orientation despite government actions to the contrary. And even in a country such as Finland, characterized by high media literacy levels and wariness of Russia, individual promoters of Russian messages and inadvertent vulnerabilities to well-concealed propaganda messages can enable Kremlin influence activities. In other regions of the world, the Kremlin also identifies vulnerabilities and tries to exploit them. In Africa, Russia's media operations build on anti-Western and anti-imperialist sentiments, presenting Moscow as an ostensibly equitable player. In the Middle East, the continued operation of RT and Sputnik in Arabic is a key channel for the dissemination of the Kremlin's propagandist narratives. In India, the popularity of Russian messaging has been especially obvious on social media, particularly Twitter, reinforced by Indian preferences for maintaining a neutral and balancing position between Russia and the West. So, how can we respond to the global challenge of Russian disinformation? In addition to nationally specific and targeted solutions, a set of ideas can be applied cross-nationally. Above all, a cooperative and coordinated strategy for tackling disinformation should be based on the involvement of a variety of stakeholders on the government, civil societal, and international level for forging the most efficient and effective responses. We should also initiate a concerted strategy of positive narration about democracy and the advantages of living in a free country as a counterweight to authoritarian states' attempt to undermine confidence in democratic arrangements. The establishment of cross-country regional support networks can aid investigative journalists and foster joint advocacy in cases of political pressure. Ultimately, it remains our personal responsibility to create demand and promote healthy media habits.